Hello everyone and welcome to today's presentation. So today is not more like our usual lessons that we have, but this is a presentation different from a class lesson or something like that, or looking at conditions and everything. So today we're just going to have a presentation. So I'm Miss Kanyembo from Grace Institution Center, and today we are just going to look at the pharmacology overview. So whether you're in first year, this is usually a course taken by those in first year and second year. This is basic knowledge that you need to have about pharmacology. So then for those in third year, it is fine. You're welcome to today's presentation because this is actually going to give you a recap of the basic knowledge that you need to have. Even if you are already in third year, this is the basic knowledge that you can appreciate in your further management of conditions and the like. Yes, so today I'm calling it a presentation because it's not more like a lesson that we usually have, or the videos that I've previously recorded. So today we are going to take a look at the basic knowledge, even for those who are maybe are just starting in their first year, haven't started taking pharmacology. This is going to help you have an insight on what you need to look out for, on what pharmacology is all about, what is pharmacology all about. And for those in third years, or those who already did this, you would actually appreciate this knowledge because it's going to give you like a recap on what really pharmacology is all about and what you need to know about it. Yes. So this is what we're going to look about. We're going to talk about today: pharmacology overview, the basic knowledge or the basic foundation of pharmacology as a course. And if you're hearing me and you're not yet in nursing, this is one of the courses that you're going to take. It's a very interesting course. Though others find difficulties here and there, but if at all you are having any challenges with pharmacology, please come through to our tuition center, and we'll give you the due assistance and service that can help you get better grades and get a better understanding of pharmacology as a course. Because for you as a nurse, we're actually going to talk about it, like why you need to study pharmacology, why the knowledge of pharmacology is actually important for you as a nurse. Yeah, so we can go right through. So pharmacology is basically a course that talks about medicines that are used to prevent and treat diseases, how they work and how they produce the unwanted side effect or adverse effects. So pharmacology is about medications, about drugs and how they prevent, how they treat, how they cure, how they support diseases and the like, how they work. It's going to show how they work and how they produce those unwanted side effects. So it also talks about drugs acting in different systems of the body. The drugs that are used to treat uh, respiratory conditions, cardiovascular conditions, they're different from drugs that are going to act on or that are going to be used to treat um, the gastrointestinal conditions and the like. So drugs work differently. The drugs used to treat one system is different from the drugs that are used to treat that system, because systems present differently. And then we also talk about the route of administration. So how a drug is introduced in a body, it's introduced in different ways. We are going to look at that as well. Their mode of action, how they act to produce their intended effect, is actually different as well. How they produce their side effects and what are side effects, the nursing implications specific to drugs. So each drug carries its own nursing implications or its nursing interventions. We're going to talk about that as well. What are nursing implications when it comes to pharmacology or nursing interventions? And we're also going to talk about drug interactions. What do they mean by drug interaction? So this is the basic knowledge that you need to have. For those who've already done pharmacology, those who are doing pharmacology are familiar with these terms, but you find that you actually don't know what they mean. You actually don't know what mode of action. You just write, oh, Brazil penicillin mode of action, this and that, but you really don't know what it means by mode of action. So we're going to refresh your mind today, refresh your knowledge on what all these terms really mean, because this is the basic knowledge of pharmacology. So we can't go ahead talk about pharmacology without knowing what really pharmacology is. So pharmacology is derived from a Greek word, pharmakos, which means medicine or drug. Hence, it's all about medicine, drugs. Logos, as you know, it means study. So pharmacology is a branch of medicine and pharmaceutical sciences which is concerned with the study of drugs or medication action which exerts the biochemical or physiological effect on the organism. So it is a branch of medicine and pharmaceutical sciences which is concerned with the study of drugs or medication action which exerts a biochemical or physiological effect on the organism. And then pharmacology, or basically, it studies the effect of drugs and how they exert their effects on the body. So why must a nurse study? Why must a nurse study pharmacology? Why should you study pharmacology as a nurse? So there are many categories of trained healthcare providers who directly handle the patient's drug. So I find that in the health setting or in the hospital, three trained healthcare providers who are directly in contact with or who directly handle patient drugs. You find that it's the doctor who usually prescribes the medication to give according to the diagnosis, and you have the nurse, and then you have the pharmacist. So you as a nurse, you come in to handle the drugs in terms of storage, in terms of administration, storage, how to keep the drug, how the drug is stored, administration, that is like giving the drug now, administering the drug, and then observation of its effects and side effects. So a drug has got its intended effect. If it's acting to prevent inflammation, that is its intended effect. But if you find that it's bringing other kind of effects like hypersensitivity, that is a side effect because that is not the intended effect. So you come in as a nurse to handle to handle drugs in this way: storage, administration, as well as observation. Therefore, it is imperative for you to study pharmacology so that one, why is it important for you to study pharmacology? You find that you've done this course, but you don't even know why pharmacology is actually, why you took pharmacology as a course. And for those who are about to take this course or those who are taking, let me give you a reminder why it is important for you, why it is imperative for you rather to study pharmacology as a course, why you study pharmacology as a nurse. One, you know which drugs are suitable for which disease. Patients come in with a wide range of conditions. So you need to know, okay, for this condition, this patient is coming presenting this kind of symptoms. This is the diagnosis for this patient. These are the drugs that I'm actually going to administer to this patient. So this is going to give you the basic knowledge that on drugs that are suitable for which disease. You just don't give drugs as long as the drug you give it to anybody who's working in the hospital setting. But any person who's working in the hospital setting has got specific symptoms. Therefore, there is a suitable drug that will be able to assist that patient with the condition they're presenting with. And then you know how certain drugs are administered and why administering in that way. So drugs administered in different ways. We're going to talk about routes of administration. You find others are given intravenously through the vein, others are given intramuscularly, others are given orally. So drugs are administered differently, others through inhalation like oxygen. So there are drugs administered differently. So yes, you know this drug is supposed to be given to this kind of condition, but how is it given? You find that certain drugs, when you give them IV, when they're supposed to be given intramuscularly, that then they're not going to, they might not actually be effective to give off their intended effect. So you know certain drugs, so it is going to give you the basic knowledge pharmacology of how drugs are administered and why you are administering that way. And then you know the side effects of drugs. So like we mentioned, there's an intended effect and side effects. So when you get to know, that is actually going to help you. When you know the side effects of drugs, it is actually going to help you communicate effectively to patients. You find that certain drugs, their side effects are really, they're very, like, in literal way, let me just say, like really bad side effects that certain drugs produce. You find that treating for a certain, just a minor condition, but you find that this drug has got really serious, rather, side effects, and then the patient really need to be educated. So if you know the side effects, it'll be easy for you to educate your patient, so that even as they are taking these medications, they're actually aware of what they can expect. Some drugs they even go to an extent of producing side effects like psychosis or impotency. So you need to know, okay, so you need to explain this drug brings such kind of side effects. So please, you know how to, you help them, you teach them on how to handle those side effects. You give them the support that they need, so that even if they are taking these medications, they are actually aware of the side effects they can actually look out for, because certain side effects are really serious. And then you know how to identify symptoms of adverse drug reactions. So if at all a drug is administered and then it reacts a certain way, you will know, okay, these are some of the symptoms of the drug reacting to this patient. And then you know what to do in case of adverse drug reactions. For example, if you give a drug and then this patient react to it, you know, okay, this is what I need to do. So pharmacology is going to give you that basic knowledge of of or adverse drug reactions, and how to go about it in case it presents in that way. And then you know the contraindications of certain drugs, so that patients' lives are safe. Not drug in as much as it's going to help the patient, but certain drugs are not given. That is what you call contraindications. You find that there's certain drugs that will not be given in certain patients. For example, a lot of drugs are actually they're actually removed from the body via the kidneys. So you find that the patient has got renal failure. You cannot give that kind that there's certain medication you do not give, because the kidneys already, they're not functioning. So how is that drug going to be excreted in the from the body? So the contraindications, there's certain drugs cannot be given in certain patients. There are certain drugs that will not be given in patients who are pregnant, patients who have a low immune system, patients who are below 5 years old. So there's, you need to look out for certain contraindications. Certain people will not receive certain kind of medications because of what they may be presenting with, and that is what you call contraindications. And then you know the correct dosage for a particular patient. So dosage is actually very important. You don't want to create any medical errors. So when you give, you need to give the right dosages. You need to give the right dosages, or else it can bring out effects such as drug overdose. So you need to know, it is going to help you know calculating in order for you to give the right dosage for a particular patient, in order to prevent medical errors. And then you educate the patient concerning the nature of disease, prescribed drugs, and to be able to answer certain drug related questions. So it is going to give you that kind of knowledge. Hence, you gain a certain kind of confidence that is going to help you come about as a help to certain people who have a certain drug related questions. You have the basic knowledge to help them, or to clarify certain misconceptions, to give them certain insights and the like concerning drugs, because pharmacology has done its job. It's given you so much knowledge that you can be able to use and help others. And then you know the storage conditions of various drugs and why they are stored in that way. So storage is actually very key when it comes to pharmacology, how drugs need to be stored. So you will gain that kind of knowledge as well in pharmacology. So it's actually pretty interesting course, you see. So yeah. And then we look at pharmacology language. So like we know as medical students, there's a certain language that you you adopt to it, for those who are starting nursing as a career. So for this course, whether you're doing whether you're doing diploma, doing degree, this is all for you, regardless, as long as you are studying nursing as a career. So you find that when you are getting acquainted to the nursing faculty or the medical faculty, there will be certain conditions or certain words that you get acquainted yourself to. They will literally become part of your vocabulary. Now that is what you call the medical language. You know, when you talk about hypoglycemia, somebody won't be able to know. For example, maybe if somebody fainted because they were hungry, and they'll be like, oh, they had hypoglycemia, they're quite sad. And then, you know, because you are acquainted with the medical language, certain medical words are just going to be part of your vocabulary. So this is the same when it comes to pharmacology. There'll be certain words that will just become part of your vocabulary, and that is what you're calling the pharmacological language. So let's look at the most basic terms that you come across in pharmacology. So when you come across these words, this is what they literally mean. Others, you've come across this, but you just didn't know what they meant. For those who are still taking this course, this is what these words mean. For those who are about to take these courses, these are the words that you come across, and many others that may not actually be in this presentation. So half-life, this refers to the time required for the body to eliminate 50% of the drug. So you find that half-life, the knowledge of half-life of a drug is important in planning the frequency of dosing, e.g. drugs with a short lifespan, for example, 2 to 4 hours, they need to be administered frequently because they have a short half-life, whereas the drug with a long half-life, for example 21 to 24 hours, these require less frequent dosing. So half-life will help you in how frequent you need to give a drug. Although half-life is fairly stable, patients with liver or kidney diseases may have problems excreting a drug. Difficulty in excreting the drug increases the risk of toxicity because the drug will keep on accumulating in the body. It is not being excreted. Like I mentioned, the liver and the kidneys, these help in this excretion of a drug. Yes. And then drug itself, what is a drug? So a drug is a chemical, a substance used in the diagnosis, cure, and prevention of diseases. Basically, that's what a drug is. Diuretics, you come across words like diuretics or drugs as diuretics. So these are drugs that decrease sodium and water reabsorption by the renal tubers, thereby increasing the solute and its excretion, resulting in the increased amount of urine. So you find that water and sodium and water, they will not be sodium and water will not be reabsorbed, hence they'll be passed out in urine. And then these are usually recommended, or the drugs that are used in hypertension. And then route of administration. So route of administration, it's the path by which a drug, fluid, or other substance is taken into the body. So this just talks about what ways that drug is going to be administered or introduced in the body. So you can have intravenous administration, route of administration, you can have intramuscular route of administration, you can have oral route of administration, and the like. And then we have steroids or anti-inflammatory steroids. These suppress all inflammatory processes in the body. So when you see steroids, those are suppressing all inflammatory processes in the body. Now, what you need to know is that inflammation in the body is a method of dealing with pathological bacterial invasion. So in a case whereby it is suppressed, like in this drug, you find that bacteria will spread in all parts of the body. So no wonder I find like mostly when you're given steroid, they tend to decrease the patient's immune system over time. So once you have this knowledge, you will know how best to take care of this patient. And then we've got tranquilizers. These are drugs that calm patients who present with hypersensitivity, excitement, or confusion. These drugs include minor tranquilizers, which have relaxing and tranquilizing effects in patients with mild to moderate anxiety, tension, and fears, while the major tranquilizers are used in patients with severe symptoms of anxiety, tension, and especially with a state of confusion, where a state of confusion occurs. So tranquilizers think of calming the patient. Antidepressants, these are drugs used in the treatment of depression and illnesses that occur as a result of unfortunate domestic and social conditions. So you find that in pharmacology, there will be a lot of anti this and that and that. So antidepressants is going against depression, it's treating against depression. Antihypertensive is treating against hypertension. Anti this and that, it's treating against whatever will be mentioned. And then we have mode of action, mechanism of action. What do we mean by a drug's mode of action? So a drug's mode of action, mechanism of action, refers to the biochemical processes through which a drug produces its intended effect. So you say inflammatory. What does it? How does it produce that anti-inflammatory effect? You say it's bactericidal. How does it produce that bactericidal effect? So it's talking about the biochemical processes that the drug is going to produce in order for it to exert its intended effect. And then what are side effects? Side effects are effects where therapeutic or adverse, whether therapeutic or adverse, that is secondary to one intended. You find that the intended effect of this drug is bactericidal, to kill bacteria, but you find that it will present with other 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 effects like maybe vomiting, diarrhea, hypersensitivity. You were given that drug not for it to produce vomiting and diarrhea, but those will be the side effects. The intended effect we've given this drug is to kill bacteria, but you find that other effects are going to come in like vomiting, diarrhea, hypersensitivity, and those are the ones that we're calling side effects. Histamine, these are drugs that stimulate gastric secretion and cause vasodilation of capillaries and the arteries. So this is the effect of histamine drugs. Laxatives, purgatives, or apparents, these are drugs which loosen the stool while other increase peristaltic movement of bowels, thereby promoting bowel evacuation. So these are drugs that are usually given in when somebody is presenting with a constipation. They loosen the stool or they increase the peristaltic movement of bowels. Vaccines and antisera, these are drugs that give protection against certain communicable diseases. And then medicine implication. What do they mean by medicine implications or drug implications? These are sequel to any medicine action, disease process or disorder that may affect a patient. When giving a medication or doing a treatment, a nurse must be aware of all possible side effects, expected or not, that may impact the patient. So the intervention that you're going to carry out uh, in the disease process when a drug is administered, those will be nursing interventions or nursing implications. Drug interaction, this is a reaction between two or more drugs or between a drug and a food, beverage, or supplement. Taking a drug while having, so it's like the way drugs are interacting. Once you give this drug, when you give this drug, it is going to react in a certain way when you give it with another. Or when you give this drug, it is going to react a certain way. It's going to bring out a certain effect when you give it with a food, when you give it with food, beverage, or say a certain supplement. So it's like drugs are interacting, the kind of effects that they're producing when they're given together. So taking a drug while having a certain condition can also cause a drug. So drug can interact with a fellow drug or with food or with a beverage or with a supplement, and they can also interact with a certain condition. For example, taking a decongestant if you have high blood pressure may cause an unwanted reaction. So that is about the drug interaction. Contraindication, it is a specific situation in which a drug, procedure, or surgery should not be used because it may be harmful to the person. It is like we mentioned, the specific situation in which a drug, procedure, or surgery, in this case a drug, should not be used because it may be harmful to the water, to the patient. Analgesic, this is a drug that acts to relieve pain, while antipyretic, this is a drug that is be used to prevent or reduce fever. So that will be much of the basic terms that you come across in pharmacology as a course. So I hope this gives you a better insight of what to look out for, what you need to know when you come across these terms. And when you're writing the exam, you actually find that the examiner expects you to say the drug name, to say the dosage, to say the route, for you to say the duration, to say the contraindication, the mode of action, the lesson implication, just for you to score the intended marks when it comes to medical management. Yeah. And then pharmacological abbreviations. So there are certain abbreviations that you need to know as well in pharmacology. For example, when they say AC, they mean before meals. There are certain drugs that you need to give before meals. PC, these are drugs that you need to give after meals because that's when they're going to produce their effective intended effect. And then IM, this is intramuscularly. IV, it means intravenous. This is a drug you're giving in the vein, while IM is a drug that you're giving in the muscles. Inhale, this basically means inhalation. IT, intrathecal. So intrathecal, this is a drug that you are, or a medication that you are introducing in the spinal canal or the spinal cord. I and O, it means input and output, very specific to fluids and the like. PO, that is oral or by mouth. You give a drug by, if they say give a drug PO, you need to give orally or by mouth. PRN, repeat when necessary. QH, every hour. QWK, every week. QOD, every other day. Q2H, every 2 hours. Tab, literally tablets. Yeah. THS, that is a teaspoon. SC, subcutaneously. So there are certain drugs that you also need to give subcutaneously. Yeah, and then PR, you need to give per rectum. PID, these you use, like you give 3 times a day. If it's medication, you give 3 times in a day. BD, you give twice daily. QID, you give every 6 hours in a day, or you give 4 times in a day. Not, so this is what you give her. This is something to do with it at night. So those are some of the abbreviations that you come across in pharmacology. And then we cannot go ahead and we need to talk about the 5 rights of medication, because they're very important when it comes to drug administration. So one, please look at the right patient. You need to have the right patient. It can be the right drug, dose, route, and time, but you have the wrong patient. That is like a very big medical error. So you need to have the right patient. Confirm with them. We look at the chart and confirm by asking them verbally, so that you have the right, meaning you have the right patient that you're attending to before you administer the drug. Please need to make sure you have the right patient. You also need to make sure you have the right drug name. You need to have the right drug, in fact. So it may be the right patient, but is it the right drug that you're giving? Imagine you're giving antihypertensive in a patient who's not doesn't have hypertension or has another condition. So that can also be a big medical error. So ensure you have the right drug. Look at the drug chart, look at what the doctor has prescribed, and look at what the patient is receiving. You need to have the right dose. You don't want to have any medical error of overdose. So you have to ensure you have done your calculations. What, if it's possible, confirm with another nurse, so that you are giving the right dose to this patient. Because you find that any slight increase in the dose can bring out other effects. So you also need to give the drug by the right route. The drug that needs to be given IV, give it IV. And then you also need to check, is this patient, okay, the doctor said I need to give this patient the drug orally, but is this patient able to take this drug orally? Maybe find that they become unconscious. So you need to assess, not just because the doctor said orally, you start forcing the patient. No. So you need to assess that, okay, this route is actually appropriate at this time. If not, please correct the situation. And then you need to give it at the right time as well. Remember, we talked about the frequency of dosing. So these are the 5 rights of medication: right patient, right dose, right drug, right route, and right time. And then general drug uses, we have, so drugs are not only meant just to cure or prevent a disease. So the drugs can be used to prevent or as prophylaxis. So drugs can be given to prevent the occurrence of a disease or to lessen the severity of the disease if it should occur, such as vaccines. So you can also give a drug for prevention or for prophylaxis effects. You can also give drugs for diagnostic purposes. Drugs can be used to aid the doctor in deciding the cause of the patient's symptoms. They are also helpful in locating the exact area of the body affected. For instance, the intravenous pyelography dye. So this is the dye that will be given so that it gives a proper diagnostic or a proper diagnosis, or it will be helpful in noting the exact area of the body that is affected. So certain drugs will actually be given for diagnostic purposes, and then certain drugs now will be given for therapeutic. Now when we talk about therapeutic, this is where I talk about curative. So these are drugs that we use to remove the causative agent of a disease. Sometimes the drug is effective against only one disease, and in other cases against several. For example, antibiotics, they are curative diseases. They are curative drugs rather. They remove the causative agent of the disease. And then you can also have palliative drugs can also be used for palliative or symptomatic. So drugs can be used to relieve the undesirable symptoms of a disease. The disease may not be curable, but its severity rather is decreased, and or its progress is slowed down. For example, analgesics that can remove a symptom of pain. And then we have supportive drugs. These are drugs that are used to sustain the patient until other measures can be instituted, which will either cure or alleviate the condition. For example, IV electrolytes. And then we have restorative. These are drugs that will be used to return the body to its normal health state, such as the iron preparations if a patient had the iron deficiencies. So this is basically the knowledge we wanted to share when it comes to pharmacology. I hope this has actually helped you gain the basic knowledge of pharmacology as a course. For those who've already done this course, I hope it's refreshed you or gave you a better insight of what pharmacology was all about, so that you can even appreciate it at the current state that you are. For those who are yet to study this course, this is basically what you need to look out for in pharmacology as a course. For those who have any kind of difficulty when it comes to pharmacology, please be free to contact us, and we'll give you the dual assistance that is actually going to help you. Excuse me, that is actually going to help you in passing and making it in pharmacology. Thank you so much for being with me in this presentation. This was Miss Kanyumba, the next tutor from Grace Nursing Tuition Center. And until the next presentation or lesson, please stay tuned and be with us on this page and learn as much as you can. Thank you.